Alright guys, welcome back to EK Sinbad. This week, we're back at DIY Auto Repair. You can rent space here, so there's a bunch of people working on other cars here with us. It's just an easy way to get your car up in the air to get to stuff like what we're doing today, which is the downpipe on this 2016 Subaru WRX. So, in order just to get to the bolts on this downpipe, it shouldn't even be called downpipe technically, it's really an around pipe, but I'll show you that in a second. But to get to these bolts, you have to pull off all of this stuff. So there's the skid plate. The brace for the skid plate is right there. Skid plate right there. The dust cover. Now all that stuff, the dust cover comes off with a bunch of push pins, and then there's 2 bolts. And then the skid plate is 4 bolts, and then there's 2 bolts per one of these mounts. So you get all that off, and then you have access to this. Well, on these 2016 Subarus, they have the 2-liter. So what's weird about that is the turbo location is no longer up above by the intercooler. The turbo is actually right here on the bottom front end of the car. So don't rear end anybody, because you might need a new turbo. So intake comes in. Here's the exhaust side. So header comes into the turbo, turbo goes out to the exhaust. There are 4 bolts on this. There's one here, there's one here, and then there's this one right here, and there's one like in the same spot up behind. Now in order to get to that one, the easiest what you're going to do is you've got to pull out your O2 sensor on this side, clear out everything right here, and you're going to be able to get an extension all the way across, all the way from here across up to this bolt way up there. Now when you do that, it's super easy, it comes right out. The worst one is actually one you didn't think would be. This one right here, this bolt right here, you can get to, you can see very easily. You cannot get a socket on it. You cannot get a wrench on it. Well, you can get a wrench on it, but the trouble is, if you put a boxed in wrench on this, if you put a boxed in wrench on that nut, when it starts to come out, it hits this stud and it won't come out any farther. All right, so that bolt that was super in our way was right here. Move your fingers. It was right there. Now, what we did to get that bolt out of the way is we came from up top. We opened the hood, and it's straight down right in the front of the motor. It's just straight down right there. Comes out super easy that way. Hit it with probably about, I don't know, 18 inches of extension, maybe 15, and it was just right out. So now it's good to go. Now we're going to get back underneath and see what we're going to get back down underneath and see if we can't get that stud out. Alright, so this heat shield is pretty much the only thing holding you from getting to this stud. After you get these top 2 bolts out, the one we went from the top and this one right here and the one we went from the bottom on this side, there's only one bolt holding this heat shield in. So you take that bolt, back that bolt out, and this heat shield comes out and you've got access to that stud. Alright, I wasn't going to show you this, but my friend said that not everybody knows how to do this, so I guess I'll show you this. We're going to install this stud back into this turbo. Now in order to do that, we're going to take 2 nuts, we're going to tighten them together so that when you turn this one, the whole stud turns, and then you tighten it in. I think that he was trying to disguise where he got this from, but they kind of told on him. He got it on eBay. Alright, downpipe all in. And if you watched our video before, we already have the cat back exhaust and axle back on this one. So we're going to finish buttoning up the skid plate and all that stuff, and then we will lower it down, and all that's left is for you to hear the startup, I guess. Alright guys, just about ready. Get the first startup of the straight piped Subaru WRX. Thanks. I think it's on factory setting right now, isn't it? Yeah. So right now it's on complete factory setting with just an exhaust. He still has the cob to put back on, and then it should be a little better. It should run a little nicer.